Systematic and orderly migration onto the shores of North America began, as every schoolboy knows, in the early 1600s, and persisted thereafter at an ever-rising tempo for more than 300 years. Europeans came to the New World for many reasons and under a great diversity of circumstances. In New England, whole families came from England and settled small but entire villages. A shipload of settlers was likely to contain representatives from a dozen crafts. Thus a community life sprang up which was patterned closely after the social order from which the people had migrated. Some of the settlers came to avoid religious inhibitions, some were adventurers in quest of fame, and others were seeking political freedom and economic opportunity not to be found in Europe. But for whatever reasons, they came freely and willingly. These essential premises are evidenced by the fact that within 30 years after the first settlements, a considerable number of chartered towns had sprung up over a wide area in New England. More often than not, the newcomer to these northern shores brought his wife and a steadily augmenting number of children. Most of the settlers were from the middle class, and not a few were landed gentry, perhaps in most instances sons whose inheritance was insufficient to maintain them in the island kingdom. Even the similarity of climate contributed to perpetuation of a minuscule England along these rock-bound coasts. Thus it turned out that the foundations were laid for a cohesive, well-organized, and disciplined society. This society, as it grew and strengthened, was able to clear the forests, sow the fields, build the towns, and then the cities, which were to become the powerhouses of American industry and civilization. Essentially, this is the schoolboy conception of the origins of America, and when applied to New England, it is doubtless true as a generalization. New England was settled by farmers and villagers, but the climate and soil of the Southland did not entice such settlers. The economic value of the southern region was discovered by planters, and there a plantation society was established and nurtured. As Europeans became habituated to nicotine, the demand for tobacco expanded at an astronomical rate. Tobacco was a cash crop, and producers sought to manufacture it from the soil in the most efficient and least expensive way. Thus there grew up along the tobacco coasts a spangle of plantations, the majority originally quite small, embracing at most a few thousand acres. Slaves were imported from Africa to work the land, and then more slaves and still more. But so rapidly did the demand for the product grow that not even by the mightiest exertions could the slave traders keep up with the demand for black field hands. As the plantation economy strengthened and as the cotton plant appeared in the same regions, the labor shortage became acute, and the planters turned to the teeming cities of England. The cities and greater towns of Britain were not places of beauty or comfort for anyone in the 17th and 18th centuries, not even for the favored classes, and for many, indeed for most, they were nauseous hellholes of crime and venality. The streets were unlighted by night and swarmed with footpads, pickpockets, thieves, robbers, and prostitutes at all hours. Hideous open sewers contaminated air and water and helped to make life both unpleasant and short. Constables were able to maintain only a semblance of order in such a setting, even though, with the help of the assize judges, gibbets and scaffolds were seldom bare of their grisly fruit. It was an age in which a child of 7 could be hanged for stealing a loaf of bread, an age in which the father of a large brood of children could be locked in a cell for life if he was so unfortunate as to incur debts which he could not pay. It was also an age in which many men were slain in perilous occupations, and in which many others went to the scaffold or died in military service or of recurring plagues.